The thing with Ben is, like, you go back and you watch the highlights of, like, and I think a lot of people watched him this week because John Madden passed away and his final game was Super Bowl 43, obviously with the San Antonio Holmes game. You watch that Ben Roethlisberger and you're like, who's that gooey piece of fish who's currently under center for the Steelers?
What's up, everybody? I'm Connor Rowntree, and welcome to Monkey Knife Fight's preview of Monday Night Football. That's our good man, Joe Dolan, Fantasy Point's very own. Joe, I mean, kind of exacerbated that it's the end of the season. I mean, like, week 18, we were kind of talking about before coming on air. Terrible matchups, especially now that clinches have happened and whatnot. So we got one final fun matchup, one final kind of playoff game before the playoffs. Monday Night Football. Browns, Steelers. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, it's I guess the last hurrah for Ben Roethlisberger. At least that's what Ben Roethlisberger's saying. But this isn't like when Brett Favre said he was going to retire, or even Phillip Rivers last year retired, and you're like, nah, I feel like there's still something left in the tank. And Aaron Rodgers has been saying, he wants to retire when he feels like he still has something left in the tank. This is, it's certainly not going to be the storybook ending that Peyton Manning had, but this is Peyton Manning in 2015. This is the arm's not there. The body's not letting him play football. Ben Roethlisberger, even if he wanted to play next year, I have to say, I mean, there's nothing that I see out of him that makes me feel like that's a prudent decision for him or the Steelers. But it looks like this is going to be his final home game in Pittsburgh, and we'll see if it's his last game overall, because if the Steelers lose, the Steelers, by the way, still have a shot to make the playoffs. The Browns do not, but the Steelers do. The Steelers need to win out, and they need the Colts to lose next week to the Jaguars to make the playoffs. So they still have a shot. With the way Carson Wentz played last night, I mean, it's possible. But Ben Roethlisberger, this is looking like his final game in Pittsburgh, and I feel like they should probably just let him come out and call the offense himself, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, his stat line on Monkey Knife Fight, or his passing projected yard line, has gone from 239 and a half, so 240 yards down to 225 and a half. So people aren't so high on Big Ben's production tonight. Obviously, he's going to have Myles Garrett and that Browns defense barreling in on him, and that can be a large part of the reason why he wants to retire. He wants to have Myles Garrett literally trying to kill you for 2 days every single year. The scariest 2 days of my life, at least.
Yeah, that would be frightening. 225 though is, he hasn't done it in 2 straight games, but before that he did it in 4 straight. You know what? Take the more. He's going to come out slinging it tonight. I'm going more on Ben Roethlisberger at 225 and a half. I think they're going to throw the ball tonight. He threw earlier this year for 266 against Cleveland. I think he's going to go up and over this total. I think it's going to be more. I think he's going to come out and try to make the home fans happy. It's going to be, I think it's more like a funeral, because it's not going to be so celebratory because they have such a minuscule shot at making the playoffs. But I do think the fans are going to be nice and lathered up tonight, and I think Ben Roethlisberger is gonna put this one out there for them.
Yeah, a little extra olive oil going around tonight for everyone in Pittsburgh. That's for sure. Extra lather juice. But Ben, man, you said it. You really said the stat. Over 260 yards earlier this season against the Browns. He's going out like he's not going to go out with 100-yard performance. If it is that way, he's just going to start slinging the ball downfield. So I actually think Najee Harris out of the backfield is going to have a big one as a receiver. So I'm going to take the more with you in that one, just because. Come on, Big Ben. He's not, as you say, he's not going to go out that way. He won't do it. I don't see it. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, though, man, what a year. This guy, I guess, coming into the season, the Browns had all this hype. The last few years, they've had a lot of hype coming into the season, and now Baker Mayfield is basically the reason OBJ left. Is he the starting quarterback heading into the future? Is he actually the future of the Cleveland Browns? Does he go for more tonight? I think the answer to all of those is no.
No, I think it's no on that right now, and he is fascinating. fascinating because the Browns are one of those teams that is going to go into this offseason and is probably going to be a player in the quarterback market. And now, that quarterback market, it's changing every day. You heard the reports a couple weeks ago that the Giants want to bring back Joe Judge and Daniel Jones. They have 2 high first-round picks, but does their embarrassment the last couple weeks change their course on that? Obviously, Daniel Jones hasn't played. Philadelphia, oh my God. Everybody and their grandmother, myself included, is like, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to trade up in the draft? Are they going to trade for Russell Wilson? Are they going to trade for Aaron Rodgers? Well, what happens? Jalen Hurts is taking them to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. So now Philadelphia might not be in the market for a quarterback. Cleveland is one of those wild card teams this year. By the way, if they do move on from Baker, somebody will take a shot on him. He's too talented for them not to, but it's just not working here. And here's the other thing for Baker. He doesn't have receivers. Look, I love Jarvis Landry. He can't be your best receiver at this stage of his career. It's less for Baker Mayfield in this game.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. I like Baker Mayfield too. He's got that extra edge of emotion. He always plays with that chip on his shoulder. A really fiery guy. A lot of people don't like him because of that, but he always kind of stood out to me. And yeah, I think a fresh start somewhere else is definitely the play. I'm riding with the less on Baker Mayfield in this one. And I really think we turn to the stars of the show now, Joe. I know we talked about Big Ben slinging the Brock in his last game, but the running backs. I really think that these 2 running backs are really the cream of the crop in the NFL. Obviously, Nick Chubb, he'll do it all. And Najee Harris is really developing into a 3-down back that is a huge threat as a receiver out of the backfield, equally with his legs, kind of almost a little Elvin Kamara, if you will. Although I think he's probably bigger.
That's a little bit of a. I mean, usage-wise, maybe
for Joe Dolan. A little bit of a stretch for Mr. Dolan on Monday.
Let's just put it this way. I think Najee, his tape doesn't remind me of Alvin Kamara. Let's put it this way. I wonder, he's been asked all season long about his workload, but I actually thought he played really well against Kansas City last week. But Najee Harris, man, 3.7 yards per attack. He really kind of looks to me like a grinder right now. And I wonder how much of that has to do with just the workload that he's had. He's been getting hit in the backfield so much. I'm taking the less on Najee Harris's rushing yards. I kind of agree with you that I think his receiving is going to be more important. But Najee Harris, I think this is a guy, when the season ends, he better take, you ever see Rookie of the Year?
Oh, yeah.
He needs hot ice, man. He needs the hot ice too, because so in the Rookie of the Year, the pitching coach Brigma, he says to Henry Rowan Gardner, the pitcher, he's like, after a game, some guys like to apply heat to their arm. Still others think that ice is the way to go. But I have discovered the secret. Hot ice. You heat up the ice cubes. It's the best of both worlds. And everybody looks at him, but let me tell you something. Najee Harris needs some hot ice right now. His body has taken a pounding. He has, let me do some quick math here in my head. All right, so 268 plus 100 is 368 minus 13 is 355. He has 355 opportunities this year, which is rushes plus targets. I mean, at this pace, he's going to top 400 on the season. That guy just needs some rest. I don't know if he gets it done on the ground. I'm more of a Najee Harris total yards kind of guy. I think I'll take the less on the rushing yards, even after he blew away my expectations on the ground last week. He did run for 91 yards against Cleveland earlier this year.
10 out of 10 on the impression, Joe. 10 out of 10.
Oh, thank you. By the way, I think I mixed it up. I think it's supposed to be ice first and then heat. Still, other guys think that heat is the way to go. Yeah. So anyway. Hot ice.
Well, hey, we enjoyed it. I'll tell you that for free. I was just sitting back here. I was gonna grab some popcorn and just watch it go. I was ready for the full Joe Dolan experience.
Now, I love me some Rookie of the Year, man. Love me some Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, you know that kid ended up being in American Pie.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did.
Talk about a big swing of movies. Anyway,
not the thing I remember from American Pie.
Exactly. That's where I was going with them.
not what I remember. When that movie came out when I was like 14 years old. Thomas Ian Nicholas being in it is not what I remember.
Najee Harris, his line opened up on Monkey Knife Fights, 74.5 rushing yards. Obviously, it's trending towards the less. Joe said it. over 90 yards against Cleveland earlier this season. But the game script that I'm seeing is Big Ben. They're just going to let Big Ben do his thing. So I think Najee, more of a receiver role. You have him in the PPR league. It's looking good for me with Najee tonight. I don't know if he gets 70, so I will take the less on that. But I like at least 50 yards on the ground because they're going to have to mix it up. And I do think he is a talented back in a tough situation because everyone knows that. Look, when you have Ben Roethlisberger back there, why don't you blitz and bring pressure? And as to your point, well, it's a run blitz, it's a pass blitz. A blitz is a blitz. If you hand it off and there's guys in the holes, they're going to stuff them, even if they were going after Big Ben. So I think we'll see an improvement out of Najee Harris after we see an improvement out of the Pittsburgh's quarterback positioning moving forward in the future, because I doubt he's going to leave the Steelers, or I doubt they'll let him. But yeah,
I doubt there's a team out there who wants him. There was like the beat writer Jerry Dulac. He was putting it out there like all hoity-toity. He's like, oh, Ben Roethlisberger's not like Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Tom Brady. Ben Roethlisberger doesn't want to play for another team. Well, here's the problem. If Ben Roethlisberger is going to play for another team, there needs to be there's a second part of that transaction. Okay, the team has to come and want Ben Roethlisberger to play for him, and I can't imagine there's a team out there like right now. I mean, next you rolling into 2022 with Baker Mayfield or Ben Roethlisberger, the answer is easy for me. It's Baker Mayfield. I mean, like, and Baker Mayfield is very much embattled right now, but Ben looks just toast, man.
Yeah, no, I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is moving on. What I meant to say is that Najee Harris's future will be brighter without him in the backfield. Is what I was trying to insinuate and allude to. Deontay Johnson's receiving line. We said Ben's going to sling it. I think he's going to go up and more over this. I like the more on that one. 72.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just I really think he's developed his number one guy. I don't like Chase Claypool's actions. He might get thrown out of the game at any moment if he's playing. So yeah, I'm gonna take the more on Johnson for sure.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more on Deontay. It's been a kind of annoying, and I have been absolutely disgusted with the fact that the Steelers, like, I always have this kind of theory, and I was thinking about it with like the Cowboys last night, and I wonder if teams who have all these weapons are like, well, we do have Amari Cooper and we have CeeDee Lamb and we have Michael Gallup, but we've got Cedric Wilson. We got to get Cedric Wilson going. And we've got Tony Pollard and we got to get Tony Pollard. I almost wonder if these teams like kind of outsmart themselves in a way, like where they're like, oh my God, like, we have all these weapons, and it just kind of feels like, somebody like Aaron Rodgers, like, it's like, all right, I have Devontae Adams. I'm going to throw him the fucking ball. Like it almost, and what I'm getting at right now is, why are the Steelers obsessed with Ray McLeod? He is 4'3", 74 pounds. I mean, like, just get the ball to Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool, man. I don't get it. Like, and that's part of the reason, like, I think some of the reasons they've struggled in recent years. I'll be honest with
you. Dude, you have me in stitches today. You're just going on tangent after tangent, whether it's the Home Alone guy from that other movie with the hot ice to just tangents. I'm loving this. I'm just having a great time today, folks. Just sitting back and enjoying the Joe Dolan experience. Nick Chubb, fun name to say, as always. His line has increased from 79.5 yards to 84.5. It's going to be hard to stop him. I mean,
I'm
going to take the more on that one because I think the Browns are going to try and bleed the clock down. I don't trust Baker Mayfield throwing the ball all that much. So I'll take the more on Nick Chubb.
I do have to correlate this because I'm taking the less on Baker Mayfield. So let's correlate it with the more on Nick Chubb. But the line is sharp at Monkey Knife Fight. Kareem Hunt's expected back this year. In games this year in which Kareem Hunt does not play, Nick Chubb averages 109 rushing yards per game. In games this year in which Kareem Hunt does play, 85.4.
Wow. Somebody on Monkey Knife Fight is on. They're on it.
I will take the more, but I'm only correlating that with Baker Mayfield. I don't feel great about that one.
Jarvis Landry. Name came up earlier. I don't know. Like, Baker's going to throw the ball more than 5 times. I don't know who else he would throw the ball to.
Here's the funny thing about Jarvis Landry. He has 42 catches this year, and I don't think I've seen him make a single play. I think it's probably because the Browns are such a crap fantasy team. Earlier this year, he had 5 catches on 10 targets against the Steelers. Give me the more on Jarvis Landry, and I don't feel great about that one. Here is Jarvis Landry's last 5 games. 4, 4, 6, 5, 4. 4.5 seems like a pretty damn good line right there. That is well set.
I like the more on the reception line, back to the point that you kind of said earlier. Who else do they have to throw the ball to outside of the tight ends? I mean, got Donovan's Peoples-Jones, who drops a lot of balls. Like, I watched a couple Browns games this year. I've seen at least one drop in every quarter from that man. Mm-hmm. It's not good. And Landry, he's been the one guy that can catch the ball when Baker actually hits the targets that have been in front of him this season. So I'll take the more on Jarvis Landry and the reception line with you there, Joe. If his receiving yard line was up there, I'd probably take the less, because I would imagine it would be just too high for me to trust. But the more on that one is just a nice spot. And then, Joe, obviously, before we get out of here, what are your final thoughts for Monday Night Football? How do you see this one playing out tonight?
I think it's going to be ugly, but I do think at some point we see like a vintage Ben Roethlisberger throw. I mean, the thing with Ben is, like, you go back and you watch the highlights of, like, and I think a lot of people watched him this week because John Madden passed away and his final game was Super Bowl 43. Obviously with the San Antonio Holmes game, you watch that Ben Roethlisberger and you're like, who's that gooey piece of fish who's currently under center for the Steelers, when you're seeing him out there escaping pressure, shaking off tacklers, putting, the guy throws balloons right now, but I think we're going to see 1 or 2 vintage Ben Roethlisberger plays.
It's a couple of dimes dropped in for
I think the Steelers win it. I think they win it 24-20. And I think they give their fans what little bit of hope they have left that they can make the playoffs in week with a couple of wins here. They need to win out and the Colts to lose next week. However unlikely that may be, I think the Steelers will go into week 18 with a shot to make the playoffs.
I mean, the Colts are an offensive dynamo, no doubt, but so are the Buffalo Bills. They held the Bills to 6 points, the Jags did. So there is some hope. I mean, the Jags,
of course, the Patriots scored 50 last week on Sunday.
But exactly, a little salt in the wound this week. They come back with a bigger performance next week. You never know. Who doesn't want to play playoff spoiler? I'm with you on the Steelers winning tonight. Keep the playoff dreams alive for Ben Roethlisberger. One last push, but I don't know if they'll push into the postseason. Baker, I actually think that Baker might play well tonight too. So let's make it 30-24 Steelers. A little higher scoring game there. 54 points. I like it right there. Do we know what the weather's going to be like before I actually say that? Because that's 54 points is a lot for me.
Yeah, let me do a little search there. Let me search there. That the Google machine here has Pittsburgh weather. That little thing. All right, we've got the high is 31 today.
Great.
It's been wild, by the way. I think everywhere the weather's wild because it was like 75 down here in South Carolina and now it's like 45 today.
Weather.com says there's a river flood advisory.
Well, they're not at Three Rivers Stadium anymore, so
it's going to be cold. 26, not freezing, no snow. It
doesn't look like there's a lot of wind either. So just kind of typical winter cold.
Yeah, no, I will stick with the more on that one. When Jason first pulled up the Weather Network and I saw there's a storm pulling in through the Eastern Seaboard, I was like, well, now I feel stupid. But yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the 54 points tonight. Go Steelers. Plus my little sister, she's got Najee Harris. She needs like 60 points to win. She's got Boswell as well. So
probably not going to happen.
No. But hey, hope for the best, right? You got to cheer on the fam. You got to represent. Her name's B, so I believe in you, Bryn. Nice. See what I did there? Little shout out on there. Joe Dolan, thank you. You're not the only funny guy today. Joe Dolan, thank you so much for joining us on this really fun edition and our final one of the year, I guess. We're
going to have to talk about playoffs at some point, right? I mean, we're going to.
Yeah, no, but get this. This is our final Monday Night Football of the year, but our first show of the year. Figure that one.
Oh, whoa.
Boom.
Oh yeah. Well, what's the old hackneyed joke? See you next year.
Oh God, I hate that. That was like the classic my dad joke. It's like,
oh yeah. That's a dad one. My dad was somebody who when the clocks were changing over the weekend, like the spring ahead fall, but he'd change it on like Wednesday and then confuse the hell out of everyone. Oh, it's just getting ahead of it. Well, yeah, Dad. I mean,
oh man, My dad would be watch when we were younger, watching those late movies, and just you realize how it's 2 a.m. again. It's like shut up. Just shut up. Anyway, Joe, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today, buddy. We'll see you for the playoffs, folks. I'm Connor Rowntree. That's Joe Dolan, and remember to hit it hard.